All right, welcome to Healthy Living the Vibrant Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Harold Chatman. At the current moment, we're not taking any sponsors, but if you wish to support me, visit our website at hvlwell.net. We have our best favorite collagens. We have peach mango, unflavored, and also our newest flavor, strawberry lemonade. If you struggle with skin hydration, if you struggle with skin elasticity, if you need a new supplement routine, check us out. And at the current moment, we're at the Panorama Brand Studio, best podcast studio in Houston. All right, we got a special guest with us. Owner of Sleepy Cell Financials, LLC, over $1 million in investments, long-term investor, and over 100K hours in research, Marcel Threat.
Appreciate you for having me, Harold.
It's been a long time coming, man.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I can't complain, bro. It's been a good journey along the way. Like I said, thanks for having me, man. The studio is beautiful, and so I'm ready to get into it and chop it up with you.
Man, little did you guys know, like me and Marcel, we went to college together,
Yeah.
and so we have a long history of back in 2011, right?
Oh,
12. Yeah, because we got 12.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Played football. We had some hangouts. Went to Abilene Christian University. Right. All the black folks knew each other there.
Go Wildcats.
Yeah, because it wasn't too many of us. But yeah, we connected ever since I met Marcel. Like, he always been like a solid guy. He been consistent. I remember when he was talking about like stocks, we like, man, we ain't trying to hit that shit. we were trying to follow the girls and stuff, but he always been there when like just consistent guy, just faithful, and just somebody that you can trust. Like some others never always been consistent. Same guy he is today. 10 years from now.
Appreciate that.
Yeah,
man, definitely appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, Harold, I don't even remember how we met. Honestly, I feel like I just knew you, and we just been cool from day one, right? So, when we met in school, we sort of kind of hit it off.
Yeah.
I know when you came back to Katy.
Yeah.
And I was in Sugar Land, so we were able to still stay really close, and so. We've had a great relationship ever since. So I have nothing but good things to say to you as well, man.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. But yeah, man. Overall, how you doing today, man?
Bro, I can't complain, man. Went and worked out earlier today.
You got a workout in already?
I got my workout in already, so I'm feeling good, feeling vibrant, and all that good stuff. And we're sort of kind of ready to chop it up with you. Ready to answer some questions, man. Get into a lot of the depths of sort of kind of what I do, and as well as sort of kind of talk about what you do as well.
So, little guy, you guys know, I look at Marcel as my financial advisor. So the reason why, Marcel, tell them how long you've been an investor. Like, how did you get started in investing?
Well, so yeah, man. So I started investing when I was, I want to say 14, 15 years old, right? So I started, and I believe it was 07, 08. I don't want to give up my age, right? Because, a lot of people still think I'm 21 years old.
Man.
But I'm a little older than that, right? So, but anyway, man, I started investing with the help of my parents, right? And so I've been blessed, and lucky to have a great support system, through my parents. As a profession, I'm an accountant, right? So
right.
I'm an oil and gas accountant. My mom and dad are both accountants. My uncles are accountants. So I come from a long line of accountants, right? A lot of bean counters in our family, right? So I used to, me and my mom are really close, as I am with my dad. Mm-hmm. And they used to watch this show called Mad Money. So if you're a Jim Cramer guy,
Jim Cramer.
You sort of kind of know what I'm talking about, right? It's just this guy, bald head guy who seems to yell in the screen all the time, right? And so I used to be like, why? Like, what are y'all doing while y'all are watching this show? Yeah. And they're like, oh, well, we're investing. This is sort of kind of where we get some of our investment advice from. And so at the time, being a young kid, not really knowing a whole lot of finances, being, just starting high school, I was like, well, what is that? Yeah. And, so my mom and dad were big key factors in sort of kind of what got me started. So, I used to sit down with them, watch Mad Money, watch CNBC.
At 15?
A little younger than that. So, 13, 14, when I was sort of kind of doing that. And then when I turned 15 is when I opened my first investment, my brokerage account. Right? Okay. So my parents were the ones that sort of kind of instilled that in me to sort of kind of pick up, the investment track, specifically in the stock market to begin with. And of course, since then I ventured off, I flip properties, I own houses, big finance guy. I love, options. I love stocks. So I do a little bit of everything, but they were the ones that instilled it in me to sort of kind of do something additional to your job, right? So they were my key motivators.
So they were the one that pioneered that basically like kind of taught you the foundation of it. 100%. And then once everything started to make sense, you're like, man, this is pretty lucrative.
And if you know sort of kind of pre 2009, 2008, sort of kind of when the housing crisis started, right? That it was a sweet time from roughly 2002 to for like the next 7 years were sort of kind of the big money years in the stock market, right? And so coming into it, like I was like, wait, I can put $100 in and come back with more money than I put in. I was like, hey, and I didn't have to do anything but push buttons. So to me, it was like a no-brainer, right? And so I was like, well, I need to know a little bit more about this, right? And so, of course, I took what they taught me, and I sort of kind of started doing my own research, right? Reading my own books. I have, of course, I'm a big Warren Buffett guy.
Yeah.
One of the greatest investors of all time. So it's like I look up to people, just like and as you do in your industry, people that you can sort of kind of.
That's pioneered the industry.
Exactly, right? Because it's like, why learn from anybody when you can learn from the best, right? From the best. People that put out information, you go seek it out, and you just I sort of just built on what my parents taught me from the beginning.
That's pretty incredible, especially to stick with that since been doing that pretty much since you were like 13, been indulged in it, and the age you are now. It's over 10 years of experience, more than that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And just learn the aspect
running up on 15.
Running up on 15.
I ain't gonna tell on myself, but running up on about 15, 16 years in this game. So
based off like what you learned, so how do you currently maneuver in the market? Like, so what advice would you give somebody like maneuvering in the market like in these times? Because like people are afraid to jump in, is worried, they feel like stuff may go to zero or may lose all their money. So what would you tell like a new investor?
Right. So like I said initially, I'm an accountant, right? So I'm the guy that looks at the financial statements of companies. That's what I do for a living, right? And if you want to become an investor, that's sort of kind of the backbone to investing, right? Is how much a company's making, how much a company's spending, and what's that net profit at the end of the day, right? So that's the nitty gritty, right? I mean, we can look at charts and things of that nature as well, but I always say those are additives, right? Because if a company is not performing, it doesn't really matter what that chart looks like today. Eventually, it's not going to look the way you want it to look, right? Because the company is going to go out of business, right? If they're not making money, right? And I like it. I mean, I know GameStop and stocks like that sort of kind of spiked and then fell. Those aren't stocks that we invest in, right? So I like to say what I am. I'm a fundamental investor, right? So a fundamental investor, we look at financial statements. We look at things like earnings per share, PE ratios, and all I'm saying basically is they're just like formulas that allow you to value a company, right? And allows you to sort of kind of show or see the growth in a company, because that's what's going to make you money over time, right? Companies that scale, companies that grow, companies that continue to make money over time while cutting the money that they spend, right? So that they grow their margins, right? And so those are the companies that we're looking for, right? And now it's a lot easier, right? Because there's so many sources out there, right? There's
information.
The information is plentiful, which also can sort of kind of be a subtractive because there's so much to get through.
You don't know what to believe.
You don't know what to believe in and who to believe, right? Oftentimes, right? And the great thing about making money in the stock market is there's no one way to do it, right? I know people that make money, long-term in stocks. I know people that do strictly options. People that make money on stocks going down, right? What we call shorting, right? So it's a lot of ways to approach this game, right? And I always tell people that you have to do what is best for you, right? And invest in companies that you understand, right? That you know how they're making a dollar, right? I always talk about Apple, because I think Apple's the best stock and the best company in the world.
You're right. They move the market,
right? And and no offense to any Android users out there.
Oh shit.
I'm not gonna point any fingers, but what you understand is when you're a great company, right? You're a visionary, right? You have a great management team. You have great financials. which means that you're making money more than you're losing money. And sometimes companies, when they first start out, they're going to lose money.
Yeah, you're going to lose money in the beginning.
But you want to see the growth and the progress, right? Mm-hmm. So I always tell people to invest in the best companies. Don't get caught up in the minutia, right?
Like those penny stocks.
Pennies, people like, oh, you know, they can pop, they cannot pop. You know what's been going up for the last 20 years? Apple. You know what's been going up for the last 20 years? Microsoft, Google, Amazon. Companies like that are the best in their industry, the best in their sectors, and they continue to, you know, do away with competition and, you know, revolutionize what they do best. Mm-hmm. So that's what I would tell people that are just starting, right? Invest in what you know and invest in the creme de la creme of those industries.
Right. It's pretty quite simple.
Yeah, and I tell a lot of the, you know, as you know, because you're part of the Discord channel.
Oh yeah, and also he runs a Discord channel.
Yeah,
too.
and so that's part of the part of the services that I run, right, is really teaching, right? Mm-hmm. Because especially people like, you know, people, minorities, black and brown people specifically,
we don't know,
who don't really know, right? And I was fortunate to have sort of kind of an upbringing where this was sort of kind of normalized in my household. Right. And so when you have conversations, you realize like, oh, a lot of people that look like me or that I identify with, they don't know this information. And you're like, the two biggest wealth generators in the world, and you can look this up. This is statistical information. Number one is real estate. Number two is stock market.
Yeah,
right.
That is true. That is true.
You look at Forbes list. Even the people that aren't in the Forbes list, that make more money than people that are on the Forbes list, they make the money in real estate and investments in the stock market, right? So if they've already sort of kind of given you the blueprint is you just sort of kind of want to follow in their footsteps, right? So it's simple, but it's not easy, right?
Right.
You buy, you wait, you make money, but it doesn't go straight up, as we all know, right? And people get scared off, and they don't have the patience.
Yeah, the patience. That's the main deal. People struggle. People want like a quick 50% gains in 2 months.
And I get it. We're in a world now where people are flipping money,
right?
But I always say, you know, slow money is the best money because you're allowed to learn along the way, right?
Right.
Because you make money quick, oftentimes you lose money quick.
You definitely lose. So it's definitely like a long-term play. Like I said, it's always good to, you know, short some and now and then, but at the long term, you want to be a long-term investor because especially those quality stocks you just named, like Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, you know, those stocks and all those companies, when you look at it, they pretty much, you hear them everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, they got brick and mortar. They even have, like, I always tell, I watch like other channels. They say, look at what these companies own.
Right.
And when you look at like when they own so much, they too big to fail. Like if Amazon would, like I always tell people, like, because some people always say, well, I don't know about getting in right now. So hit my boy up. Yeah. They be like, well, what if it goes down or if it just sinks? But I was like, what if Apple goes under? Like a lot of bad shit gonna happen.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is when people say, I don't know, I need to. And now, granted, there is a timing to this industry, right? We never buy at the top, right? Mm-mm. We always buy on discounts, right? Which we instill in the Discord channel, right? Because I always like to liken it to the example. If you saw the same shirt in two different stores, one was $10, one was $5, same exact shirt,
right?
Where would you go? To the cheaper store, right? The $5 store. So if you can get Apple at $50 as opposed to $100,
right,
then you want to get it at $50, right?
Right.
And so, but usually when it's at $50, people are like, well, it's going to go to zero.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's not going to go to zero. You know, things happen in the stock market that cause stocks to fall. You know, we just went through a big one, coronavirus, not too long ago, right? In 2020. We're going through another one now with, rising interest rates, right? Which affects the stock market in a negative way, right? Because when interest rates go up, it costs more money to borrow money, right? Which a lot of companies need, right? They need backing to, for research and development, to sort of kind of scale their products. A lot of people don't have that cash flow in the beginning, so they have to borrow. Well, if it costs you 10% to borrow the money now as opposed to 2% last year, your expenses are going to rise. So that makes it harder for you to make money, right? Because you already weren't making money. Well, now you owe somebody already before you made $1, or before you sort of kind of scaled your business the way you wanted to see it. So it makes this investing environment a lot more turbulent, right? But when you identify great companies, you realize that it's not your company that's not performing, it's the market that's not performing.
Right.
And when the market doesn't perform, it can bring a lot of stocks down with it.
Right.
Well, if you know, based off the research that you do, and I do a lot of the research, of course, on behalf of my clients,
right,
I know when the right time is to buy.
Right.
But if you're waiting on the right time ain't waiting on you, right? So you might as well just go ahead and get started, right? Because you don't have to be great at the start, but you got to start to be great.
Yep.
So you have to be active and proactive. And the good thing about stocks, great stocks, is they always come back. Mm-hmm. And you can look at the test of time, any stock chart that you want to look at of the companies that I just named. They dip, but as long as they're making money at the end of the day,
flow. Yeah,
they're gonna recover.
They're gonna figure it out,
right? And they're gonna innovate, and they got great management teams. So you have to start, and that's what I always tell people: just start and start small. Mm-hmm. And my golden rule is: you never invest money that you're not willing to lose.
Right.
You don't invest bill money. You don't invest money that you need to survive.
Right.
But you take some money that you might have spent, instead of going out
to eat, stuff like that.
Things like that. And that's how you start your portfolio. Mm-hmm. And then you build on top of that over time, and it grows, right? Because compounded interest grows over time.
Right. So how do you help your clients out in your Discord channel? Like, what is that like for, if I was like, you know what, this guy looks like he know what he's doing. Mm-hmm. Like, how much is Discord channel? Like, how much does it cost for him to help me? Like, what can he offer me as a new investor? Like, for people listening. Yeah.
So awesome question, man. I charge $5 a month, right? Because
$5.
I've been given. I started this company, Sleepy Financial LLC, in 2021. Mm-hmm. I've been giving stock advice for 15, 16 years
for free,
right? For free, because as a friend of mine, that I just like to talk about this stuff. These are things that I enjoy, right? So. Yeah. As you stated earlier, I was the guy talking about stocks at the party, and everybody's like, "Well, Marcel, we don't want to hear that right now." And I get that. Sometimes right place, right time.
That was over my head at the time. We didn't know about that.
Understandable, right? But I always sort of kind of try to plant seeds, right? Because it's something that I'm passionate about, and I know it's something that works, right? So when you sign up for the Discord channel, right, we'll shoot a link out, I'm sure, to the Discord, and so when you sign up for the Discord, you get access to me, 24/7, right? Whether it's you have questions in the Discord channel, we have research that you can learn from, editorials. I wrote an editorial about 10 years ago on Microsoft Word, published it myself, literally at the job. Sort of kind of took me 2 weeks to write it.
Right.
And that editorial is still what I use as the foundations of my investment premises, right?
Right.
And this plain and simple, I feel like it's sort of kind of everyday talk that anybody could pick up. Mm-hmm. And so those are the sort of kind of resources that I offer, right? I also offer what I'm investing in currently, right? Mm-hmm. So as you know, I run a Robinhood portfolio for the Discord, right? Mm-hmm. I think it's like roughly around $100,000 in there right now. Not saying that you need that to start investing, right? But that's one of the Discords that I started because I was like, if people are gonna follow my advice, I need to sort of kind of show a foundation. And so what I'm actually doing. Mm-hmm. So I started a Robinhood account, and what I'm buying currently in that Robinhood account is what I post in my Discord. Mm-hmm. All right. So it gives people an idea of like, hey, what is he investing in right now? Mm-hmm. And you can look at this portfolio. And I always say what I like the most is what I invest in the most, right? Mm-hmm. And if you were to go look at that Discord or that portfolio right now, the biggest stocks that I own, Google, Microsoft, Apple, right? And sometimes when you buy into stocks, they don't give you a chance to buy lower, right? They just sort of kind of take off on you.
They just take off on you.
So oftentimes the stocks that I love most, I wasn't able to get the biggest in before they took off, right? But you'll know by how much I'm investing in at a time, right? The biggest stocks that I like to invest in, I might buy $5,000, $10,000 at a time, right? The stocks that I'm more speculative about, maybe a 500 to 1,000, right? But I believe in building a position, right? So I might buy it 5-6 more times, right? Yeah. So at the end of my investment, it might be $50,000, $60,000 in one stock, right? And we own a portfolio, I think, of roughly about 41 right now. And so we're always just trying to just teach, right? Because and I wanted to make it affordable for people that might not have the disposable income to pay $100 for a Discord or join the CNBC service that costs, $40 a month, or Investors Business Daily that costs $40 a month. But you can start, right? And so that's what I offer to my clients. And even if you decide not to invest with me, I always say invest with somebody, right? And there's reputable sources out there, Pete Najarian, Jim Cramer, CNBC. Those are the places that I go to when I need inspiration, when I'm looking to educate myself. And so I always just want to say, just start. Even if it isn't with me, just start, because you'll benefit down the road. And every person that I've started with hasn't stopped yet. Right. And I always say that if you join the Discord and lose money over a specified period of time, I'll give it back to you. Right. That's my guarantee. And to this day, I haven't given back $1. Right. Through some of the worst years we've seen in a long time. Oh, man. Right. 2022, bad year. Right. This year, everybody's made their money back plus some. Right. That sort of kind of tried it out. Now, some people fell by the wayside. And I understand that people sometimes are like, hey, I can't invest right now. I have other things to do. That's perfectly fine. But I always say, try and get back if you can. Yeah.
So what advice would you give somebody that say how should I invest? Like why should I invest? Or I know I hate to say it like this, women are pretty terrible when it comes down to investing.
Well, some of my best investors are women though.
Really?
Some of my, because
I'm the opposite.
Well, because I think men sometimes we got egos to this testosterone. It's like sometimes it's like you don't want to hear another person, especially another man, tell you what to do. Yeah. Right. So you're like, well, let me go do my own thing.
So if you go off your data in your Discord, so most of them women or men?
Predominantly more men in the Discord. But my better investors are women.
Kind of shit.
So the returns that they get because they listen. So when I put,
we don't fucking listen.
I guess. I mean, look, I don't know what's going on, but I mean, and I get it, because sometimes people get advantageous, right? They want to own everything, right? And it's like, well, if you own everything, you own nothing, right? Yeah. Because it's about how much money you put into something, right? Because 10% on $100 ain't the same as 10% on $1,000, right? Right? Because not only your investments are going to succeed, right? We invested in PayPal last year. So this is just a tidbit. We invested in PayPal last year. PayPal was ugly. We lost money on PayPal. That was one of our losses. But we also invested in Nvidia. We also invested in Microsoft, AMD, when AMD was, roughly $55, when Nvidia was $113.
Oh man.
And so now we're up 300% on Nvidia this year. We're up double on a lot of the stocks that we own because we stayed true. Yeah, we lost out on PayPal. Yeah. But when you own multiple companies, you got to be diversified in this game, right? If you put all your eggs in one basket, and they crack, you ain't got nothing left, right? So, but back to your question, women are great in this game too. You can be good if you're disciplined. And that's really what it comes. If you have patience and you're disciplined, because really all it takes is you put your money in, you walk away. My mom is, for example, she looks at the stock market sometimes, she puts her money in, and she sometimes don't even really worry about it. Right. My dad looks at it every day. I've looked at it every day for the last 16 years, every single day.
It's hard not to.
I mean, this is what I do, right? Yeah. But the reason why you invest in the stock market is the reason why anybody wants to be an entrepreneur. At the end of the day is you want to make money. Right? And this, like I said previously, is one of the best ways to make money and get to earn additional income, right? Real residuals, whether it be through stock appreciation and prices or whether it be through dividends, right? There are multiple ways to make money, or even in options, right? Real estate investment trust. There's a lot of ways to make money in this game, right? So that's why you get involved, because I love the competition, right? As a former athlete, football player that's not playing sports anymore, that competitive nature is still there, right? So I'm out there trying to find the next best thing or invest in what the best thing is right now, right? So that's why you should get involved, because prices aren't getting any cheaper, right?
We're just going up.
In a time right now where interest rates are high, prices are high. So all additional streams of income are important, right? And eventually your investments will get to the point to where they were replacing your 9-to-5 paychecks, and now those paychecks become free, and now you can spend those on whether it's paying off debt, whether it's buying a new house, paying your bills. Your stock investments will pay your bills. My father put me and my brother through school with his investments, strictly. Didn't touch his salary.
Oh wow!
Right. Well, my dad's a decamillionaire. Right. So over $10 million in investments. So, and he started from a dirt road in Georgia, Reynolds, Georgia. Right. So, and as an accountant, we're not breaking the bank, right?
Right.
I'm not out here making $350,000 a year as an accountant. I'm just as a bean counter. So I have to supplement my income in other ways too. And I'm a frugal guy, but it allows you a time to travel if that's your thing. Allows me the time to sort of I take off work to watch CNBC all day. That's what I do, right? I'm a boring guy. Hell, I'm vanilla, right? So that's what I do. I take off work just to go watch CNBC.
Man, people take out work to go do nothing,
and that's fine. That's fine. That's perfectly okay. But what I enjoy doing is I enjoy breaking open my portfolio, looking at charts, right? Because as a fundamental investor, being a technical investor, which is somebody that looks at charts, looks at patterns. That's why this game is so great. There's always something to learn, right? And there's always something to get better at. If I'm not good, I'm not the best options investor, right? I'm a long-term investor. So over the last few years, I've been trying to sharpen my skill in the options, right? To where I'm a lot more
sharper.
I'm a lot sharper, right? And that's the great thing about this game. There's always something to do better, right? So that's why I implore people to always check it out. Don't listen to everybody, because you can't listen to everybody. Because there's some people out there that really don't know what they're talking about. But you have to, and you'll know. I feel like you'll know. And start small. This is not something that you want to throw everything in, build money, rent money.
Right.
Start small and then grow over time.
What would you say what makes your Discord channel different from somebody else's based off what you offer?
Because I'm not in it for the money. Really, because
it's like $5 a month.
The great thing about that's the great thing about investing, right? Is whether you listen to me or not, I'm gonna make my money, right? Because I'm that good. Right. And not to toot my own horn, but I've been doing this a long time, and it's sort of kind of in the track record, right?
Right.
I have clients up 70% on their portfolios this year. I have clients up. Harold is an investor in the portfolio or in the Discord. We made Harold a couple dollars, this year. So it's the thing about investing is you don't need anybody to listen to you. If you're right, you're right. Nvidia went up regardless of if anybody listened to me or not.
Right.
But when you sort of kind of look and you see where it's at now, you're like, well, I have people that DM me all the time that keep asking me like, when should I invest? People that have been asking the same question for 10 years.
Damn.
And I'm like, well, bro, eventually you're gonna miss it. And it's okay to miss it, but
don't miss the next
what we
one.
offer in the Discord channel is we're not money hungry. We're teachers, right? And when I say we, it's really me and my sources, right? Because I run the whole thing by myself, right? We have right now, we're growing, right?
Right.
And I don't pay for marketing, right? All my marketing is through social media, through word of mouth, through the clients that are serious, right? Because I'm not in it for a money grab. I'm not in it to be the most popular Discord channel, but I want to teach the people that know me, that interact with me, that have a relationship with me, that there's additional ways to make money in this game, right? That you don't need to really exert a whole lot of energy to, right? You sort of kind of park your money and let it sit in great vehicles, great assets, and they'll take care of you. It's
almost like buying a property that's like I look at like buying a property and it's things supposed to be developing around it.
Yeah.
So like in a new community, and then you it's gonna be developing around it, and you see like it goes up in value, and by the time you sell it, you didn't quadruple your money.
Exactly. So the people that when they started building condos, or townhouses out there in Fifth Ward, Third Ward, some people were like, I don't know about that, right? But now those properties have almost tripled in value.
Exactly.
Right? So it's always the risk takers, right? Because scared money don't make money. And that's just the end of the day, right? You're not gonna win every time, but if you're too scared to start, too scared to invest in anything, whether that's even investing in yourself, then you're gonna lose every time.
Every time.
You know, you miss every shot that you don't take. So getting started, and especially with me, I try and talk to people in layman's terms, right? You know, I'm pretty even keel, pretty chill. And I feel like I've been doing it so long that, you know, I don't want people to get so caught up in the beginning in the minutia of what's a PEG ratio? What's a PE ratio? Or what's a sum of parts valuation? It's like, well, one, what do you enjoy, right? Oh, I enjoy working out. Nike's a great company to invest in, right? I enjoy electronics, Apple and Microsoft, because you understand that, right? And so I cater to my clients specifically, right? Because as we grow, I like to sort of kind of give people as much time as they want, right? From me, because we can talk about this all day, and I'm sure I'm probably going to talk past your time limit, so you got to make sure that you keep an eye on the time for me. But this is just something that I'm passionate about, right? But I feel like I keep it foundational, I keep it easy, and you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do in this game, right? You make it as hard as you want to make it,
right?
And that's the great part about it.
Yeah, that's the fun part about like investing. Just you know, you already done the legwork. And so you just telling us to pretty much just click the button or maybe like even like double check. But I feel like the easiest part about investing is getting on what's that? Not Market Watch, but Yahoo Finance. And you can look at like how the company's financials. It's pretty easy. It's like I think it's like blue and green to see like the revenue. Then
that's it. I mean, liken it to a person, right? Because sometimes when you're talking about company structures, it sometimes it misses. But everybody has, or predominantly most people have jobs, right? We go to work, we earn income. We also have expenses. We have rent. We have bills. Companies have the same things. Apple makes money selling iPhones. It costs money to make that iPhone. Those are their expenses, right? At the end of the day, what do you and me want to do? We want to grow our net worth, right? The only way to grow a net worth is to make more money than you're spending.
That's it.
That's the same companies are doing. Their market values, they're just making more money than they're spending in whatever niche that they specialize in, right? We're doing the same things, right? Multiple streams of income, less expenses,
keep
more net worth.
Keep your overhead down low.
More cash flow on a monthly basis, more savings, more investing. That's how we grow our net worth. Companies do the exact same thing. And so when you understand how a company makes its money and how they spend their money, it's easy to sort of kind of evaluate a company, right? And so that's why I sort of kind of liken it to people, because everybody got bills. You know, we all got to pay bills. We all got to pay taxes. But when we make more money than we're spending, we're always going to end up better financially at the end of the day than if we were doing the opposite.
What would you say, like 3 things that motivate you to keep going, like helping? Like, I know you love stocks, but what are 3 things that motivate you, like, to be so passionate about this field?
Man, really, I would say my family is big. You know, they're the sort of ones that got me started. They're the ones I do it for, right? They pass down, you know, information to me, and I want to pass it down to other people because this is something that they're not going to teach you in school, right? You're never going to learn about it unless you take finance classes or accounting classes, right, in college, or maybe an elective in high school. They're not going to teach you how to do your taxes. They're not going to teach you how to invest. They're going to teach you Y equals MX plus B.
That's it.
And you're never going to use that unless you become a scientist or an engineer. You never needed that driving down the street, right? So the things that are important, you have to go search for, right? You know, they always say if you want to keep someone away from people, put it in a book, right?
That is true.
So you have to be willing to go find it out. And my family are the ones that I hustle for, right? I would also say my competitiveness, right? That's what motivates me is I want to be the best, right? I want to be the one that has that grows my portfolio, right? I want to, when they talk about Warren Buffett, I want them to talk about me. About what his investment, you know, history has been like, right? So those are the few things that motivate me. My faith, right? You know, I'm a strong believer, and so that keeps me grounded. You know, in this game, it's easy to get a big ego.
Oh yeah,
right.
Especially
you know,
like making big hits on there. Like,
when you make a lot of money, right? You sort of sometimes people feel themselves, right? And so I think my faith keeps me grounded. You know, being giving is sort of kind of what keeps me, you know, compassionate in this game, right? Because I've seen a lot of people make a lot of money. and those same people lose the same amount of money the next year.
Oh wow!
Right? I've seen people jump off buildings because of the money that they lose. Right? So this can be a nasty game, right?
Yeah.
And 80% of people that invest in the stock market lose money.
Yeah.
Right? Those are the statistics they don't tell you. Right? Mm-hmm. Day traders, most of them lose money.
Break even at the end of the year.
Oh, break even. Right? Mm-hmm. But when you might break even cash wise. But if you made money on paper, you still owe taxes.
Oh yeah,
that's the sneaky game, right? So if you made $100,000 and you claimed $100,000 in the first 6 months of the year, and then those same stocks, you didn't sell any. You took your gains, and those same stocks that you invested in more stocks,
right?
And then you lost $200,000 the second half of the year, but you didn't sell anything. You still made $100,000 that year. Mm-hmm. So even though you've lost all that money, you still owe taxes on $100,000, right? So you have to be intentional in this game, or you can end up with a fat tax bill, or you can end up losing a lot of your money, through foolishness. So discipline is
probably one of the biggest ones.
Yeah. So
do you see yourself doing this like full time, or just keep doing it on the side?
Man, at one point I thought I was gonna do this full time. We talked about before. I work in the oil and gas industry as an oil and gas accountant for a great company. Mm-hmm. And to me, when I'm investing, I can do that and work a job at the same time. Right. And so one of my favorite sayings is supplement your income, don't substitute it.
Right.
Right. So if I can invest in the stock market and work a job, why cut one off for the other? Right. Because I think there's enough time in the day to do both.
Especially if you can do both.
And that's just me, and everybody might not agree with that, because they're like, well, if you got plan A, why you need a plan B? Yeah. I know some people that think like that, and that's fine, right? We're not always
everybody different,
and that's cool. But me, I don't. Maybe eventually, because I like the insurance that I get from my job.
Yeah,
right?
I know you always tell me that.
I like insurance is high.
Yeah,
right. And then every year is not the best year in the stock market. 2022, not a great year, right? What we talked about, but it was nice to have that job in 2022.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
and things of that nature.
Got a
right.
Cushion.
Right. So it's I've always been, and I'm young, so I have the energy. I like being around people.
Yeah.
I like talking to my coworkers. So you don't get that when you're just in the house in the office all day looking at screens. Right.
Right.
And not saying that you have to be in the office all day to make money in this game. I know some people that only trade the first 30 minutes and they don't look at the stock market for the rest of the day. Mm-hmm. So you find what you're good at in your niche, but how I am wired, I like to be around people, and I can't get that same satisfaction in the house.
What do you see yourself with your business in the next 3 to 5 years? Like, do you have any future projections for it?
I hope we continue to grow. I think that the more light that I shine, like I said, I don't do a whole lot of marketing because to me it's not. I want to grow, but I'm not concerned with being the biggest out there. Right? It's just not really one of my passions, right? Because I just know that what the information that I'm giving to people, even if it changes one life, to me that's more important than just hoarding a bunch of information and dying with it myself, right? So I do continue that. Hope that we grow. I want one of my clients to go off and start their own discords, right? Like, I'm not trying to hold people hostage in this game, right? Mm-hmm. My goal is for the people that listen, that learn, to go out and be better than I am, right? I have some clients right now that have some they specialize in certain specifically options, right? Whether it's butterfly spreads, things of that nature. They're teaching me now, right? Wow. I got these guys started, 10 years ago in college, at UCA, University of Central Arkansas, and now they're teaching me, right? Oh, wow. So that's sort of kind of what I love, right? Or you go off and teach another person. That's what I find, pride and joy in, is just people continuing to better themselves.
And to grow with it.
And grow. And so, but I do want to reach as many people as I can, right? While I'm doing this, is to, everybody that I touch, just to let them know what I'm doing. So yeah, I want, and then of course I want my portfolio to grow as well. I want to eventually make $1 billion. I always said that I want to be a billionaire one day, right?
I was gonna imply like since you do have your full-time job and you do have your investment group, I think what would be best for you just having all those avenues. If you was just because you already created an ebook.
Yeah,
I think it's best for you like to try to even get into your own book.
Yeah, and people have been telling me to do that for a while, and so
I think you should.
That's awesome, man. And eventually, I will sit down and write a book. I've been doing a lot of running around, right? And
you got a lot of knowledge about this. You can make a whole book with it. If you made a whole like ebook and it's still valid to today, I don't know how long ago since you made it.
Yeah, Money Making Millennials is what I entitled it. I wrote that in 2014. And started in 14, and at the end of 2014, and then finished up in 2015. I was still in school, I think.
Yeah.
I was getting my master's at ACU.
And the crazy part is I have it, and it's still relevant to today.
Yeah. And I put a top. What's interesting is I put a top 10 recommendation list at the bottom of those, at the very bottom, because I wanted people to read it all the way through, and I gave out a freebie. And if you go look at
that
those
almost
stocks,
can be like a short book.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 10, 11 pages.
No, I'm talking about like a book that you can like put it on Amazon.
Oh yeah, I do sell it. I did sell it. It's free to members in the Discord. Yeah. I was selling it for, I think it was like $10, right? So it was like, if it's,
I'm just
still
saying,
valid.
That's what I'm saying. Like you can definitely like make money off of that because like that's because as I can remember clearly, like you have to break down like a PE ratio.
Yeah.
It's pretty much
all that down.
All that down in there. It's like that could be easily sold like as a beginner's guide for people, and then also as a minority person like yourself, you can definitely tailor to that because people gonna more read towards somebody of your color, and that's why I say you should, especially if you're gonna keep your full-time job and then doing this too. I think like you probably should devote a little time out the month and week, maybe like putting a book to reach out, like try to get your book and to do different volumes, like you right now you looking to master like options, then long term, and then why certain stocks. Like you can have like different volumes. I'm just thinking like as an entrepreneur, especially keeping those streams and those avenues. Like,
yeah, man, that's good advice, man. And I listen to everything, right?
Yeah.
So
because you're good at it. Well, I always look at like for example, like something that you're good at, like mastering in, you can leverage it. Just like you leveraging this $5 a month. Like think about how that would look if you was to do a book.
Yeah.
And then like easily marketing that and just put that. Of course, like think about like you have a book. Sell it, your people in the Discord channel gonna support you.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the great thing about, creating a network with people, like-minded people, or people that think sort of kind of dissimilar to how you think, right? You're able to bounce ideas off each other. As being in the Discord, we have a lot of dialogue that goes on with different opinions and what people think. And at the end of the day, right, we're always just trying to better ourselves, better people around us, right? So it's a stepping stool, right? And it's something that I need to think about for sure because I'm trying to do a bunch of things, right? Like
I think there's because I'm big on like that's why I started this podcast,
which is awesome, man.
Because it stays in the same realm what I'm doing, like healthy lifestyle. Have somebody like you have a good healthy lifestyle, like you work out, you eat good, take care of yourself. Most athletes. They be looking big as shit.
I mean, look, man, you got in order to enjoy the fruits of your labor, you got to be here, right? And so health is important, right?
Yeah.
As something that's was big that what you do, right? And as a former athlete, man, I think it's important to take care of your body, take care of your health. And that's just not going to the gym, that's going to the doctor, that's, taking the proper supplements and things of that nature, man. So, I've always commended you, for being in this industry because it's something that I'm passionate about as well.
Yeah, because you still do it. You can't keep up. Because you want to look good and feel good. You know what I'm saying?
When you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you play good, right? So, I mean, a big Deion Sanders guy, right? Man. So, but yeah, it's important.
Yeah.
Very important.
But I think based off of everything you're doing, I think that'd probably be the easiest route for you.
Yeah.
Because you're already doing it.
Yeah.
You just got to figure out how to do the publishing and stuff like that.
I'm going to tap in, man. I'm definitely going to do the research. I'm a big research guy, right? I'd like to put in the time and figure it out. And right now, the Discord was something new. And so I'm trying to branch out and do different things for sure. As being a low-key guy, I don't like a lot of attention, which is, I've always, kick game for free, right? So when you provide a service, there's a little bit more that comes with that, right? So me stepping out of my shell of being because I like to talk, but I like to talk to people I know, right? So I could be quiet at times, and so trying to step out of my shell a little bit and do different things.
Yeah, that'd be easy when you're around. I always like to empower people that either have a full-time job or entrepreneur. Like, do something that you're good at, maximize that as much as possible, because you already. That's why I stay in like health and fitness. You ain't gonna see me doing nothing else. If it ain't like really health and fit, I'm probably not touching it, because like I don't like to be pulled in too many areas, because we already been pulled in too many areas with our phone, life stuff, personal business, and then get up in the morning like aches and pains, like working out, and demands of work, emails. So I try to keep that as small as possible, so I can like maximize my brain. That's why I wear the same outfit pretty much when I come to the podcast.
Hey, man.
Simple, got my brand on there.
There's options to think about.
Yeah, exactly. Because the thing is, I'm trying to maximize, focus on what matters.
Yeah.
And also just keep my brain like clear. Because some people say the jack of all trades. That always make me nervous, because like, what am I paying you for as a service? Mm-hmm. Like if I did cut yards, if I did like UPS, did the website design, and if I did like photos and videos, and then personal training, you be like, damn, what did Harold do? What is he good at?
Yeah.
And
like, people approach it different ways, man. I know people that do a lot of different things, but I like to sort of kind of focus on, a niche. Right. So and be specialized, because when you put more, you're best at what you spend your most time doing. Mm-hmm. That's just the facts of the thing. Right.
Right.
So whether it be, you being the Renaissance man and you can do it all, or but you can be great, especially nowadays, in just doing one thing.
It is. So my last question to you is, what does a healthy, vibrant life look like for you?
Oh, man. A healthy, vibrant life, to me, life looks like one that, where you're spiritually growing, financially growing in your relationships, growing physically. Mm-hmm. And to me, as long as you're putting in the work to be better, that's what a healthy, vibrant life looks like to me, because you want to be well-rounded as a person, right? You don't want to be the guy that's just known for being the fitness guy, right? Mm-hmm. You want to be the guy that's good in relationships as well, that, if you, whatever you believe in, you have integrity and things that you do, right? Respect, that you get respect from people, and that you give respect to people, right? So to me, that's what a healthy, vibrant life looks like. And, since I'm still stronger than you, of course, right? Because I'm talking a little shit, right?
Oh, but man, I don't know about
I push a couple more pounds than you do, man. We need to get into that gym together.
Oh man, you're gonna hurt yourself now.
You might be right. I did just come back from a pain
push-ups on this damn table,
a back injury. So
oh yeah, I remember that.
Harold was at the house a couple weeks ago, for the fight. So he saw how we get down.
Oh man.
So. But yeah, man, that's what one vibrant life looks like to me, man.
All right, I gotta have you try one of the collagens out.
I think I got one. I support. So we definitely.
Have you tried this one?
I don't think so. I know I got this one.
All right, you gotta try you gotta try a new flavor. Okay, man. Pass me a bottle over here, man. Gotta check it out. So you like a strawberry lemonade guy or a peach mango guy?
I am a strawberry lemonade guy. And so when you had the peach, was it mango? Was it peach?
Yeah, that's peach mango.
When you had the peach, I was like, that was the first one, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, bro, I got to support. And so I was like, man, I need him to come up with that strawberry, though. And so now it's nice to see that you got the strawberry, on deck, man, because I am a strawberry. It's my favorite fruit, so.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, people love that, man. Go ahead,
I believe it, man.
So I made it more of a clean product. Okay. So it's no like fructose in there, no sucrose in there, no artificial coloring. It's pretty much a solid collagen ingredients like bamboo extract, hyaluronic acid, vitamin C, vitamin E.
Yeah, man. That's good.
Yeah, that's why I don't change no colors.
Look, come on, man. We got a good product sells itself.
Yeah.
Right? So as long as you keep the product great, I think,
I try to keep it authentic, man. I don't try to make it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't try to add no how some of the products they have like protein in there, amino acid in there, electrolytes. It's just straight collagen. Mm-hmm. And I get into others later, but that's why I like it, man. Because I take it for my hair, I give it to my daughter. And,
bro, it's good for you. I can see it in my skin. I can see it in my hair growth. My wife takes it as well. She's a big hair person. So
and plus I like it because it's you drink it on a cold day. You don't have to just mix in like food and stuff like that.
No, that's 100%, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great product, man. You know, I love it. Continue to support it as well. And I continue to hope that you grow in your endeavors as well. And with whether it's your personal training, your products.
Oh yeah,
bro. I'm always wishing you the best. And because I support people that support me.
Right.
And but that's how we grow in these industries. So
all right, so everything gonna be in the show notes. How to find Marcel? Marcel, tell them your Instagram handle, man.
Yeah, so y'all can find me at Marcel Threat, and that's MarcelThreat. I used to be at Sleepy Cell.
Yeah.
But they got me out of there on that one on Instagram. But I'm still at Sleepy Cell on Twitter, or I guess it's X now, right? So at Sleepy Cell on X. I don't have a YouTube channel, but the Discord. You can find me on Gumroad, / Sleepy Cell Financial LLC, and I'm sure we'll put some links in the bio.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely put links in the show notes. We're gonna put his Discord channel in there, and also put his Instagram in there. You're gonna have access to him. So just in case if you're like a starter investor, definitely reach out, because he gonna definitely hold your hand through the process and
100%.
not just tell you what to do, but educate you. So you pretty much teach you how to fish, like what I do with my coaching.
Right. And we do an hour consultation when you sign up. So I get to know about what you want to get out of this, my expectations, and your goals. So we sort of kind of knock it all out, from the very beginning.
All right, thank you guys for tuning in. That's it.
Thanks for having me, Harold.
All right, buddy.
All right.